Luke 10, Taking Care. Thing I loved, the tiny squealing sound of a monster in one of the movies made me frown every time I heard it. I turned to Tal, who was sitting next to the head of the bed. He was watching the movie intently. Thing I loved, Tal, I interrupted the small, ugly sound that came from the TV. Isn't there anything you want to ask me? Tal's eyes continued to look at the TV. Nope, you don't. I looked at Tal's calm expression. Aren't you shocked of anything? Well, do you believe what I said? Tal picked up the remote to turn down the volume. While Tal and I are laying down in the same bed, I told a long story from the first time I met him in the emergency room until now. I am shocked and believed it because what you just told me and what I saw in my dreams are the same. Your shocked expression was to sit quietly and watch a movie? Sometimes this kid was too difficult to understand. I thought you would ask more questions. Well, then I will ask more. Paul turned to look at me. Aren't you tired? I was stunned for a second before giving a gentle smile. I'm not tired. For you to survive, I will come back as many times as I can. Paul quickly turned to look at the TV. Then, what is the reason for you to be with me like this? Probably about when we were young. At that time, the two of our family went to the beach and you drowned. My dad came to help in time. I can't remember the details, but my dad told me that after you left the hospital, I took your hand to swear in front of the Buddha that I would protect you from death until I stopped. Until when? Saul frowned. When I refused to answer, he turned around and asked, until what? Screw it. I'll tell you as you already knew this much. Until we both get married. Saul's eyes became bigger and he raised his hand to massage his head. You are really gay. I probably like both men and women. I think I have known myself since that time, but I hid it. I laughed. The sound of the tiny squeaky monster appeared on the TV again. But I have never had feelings for other men. In the past, I just looked at women until I met you. That's why I think you're a very special person to me. Paul sighed with relief, then grabbed the bolster and hugged it. It was difficult. How should I respond? You don't have to answer anything. If you are uncomfortable, I won't bother you anymore. Just please don't die. I just wish I could see you live through that night. Then my duty is done. Unless you will die for other reasons in the future, I am happy to come back and save you again, no matter how many times. I will come back and find the cause and fix it just like this time. What I just said comes from the bottom of my heart. Paul picked up the remote and turned off the TV. His sharp eyes stared at me without blinking an eye. Thank you. His thank you made me smile. The exhaustion just disappeared. I couldn't help but reach out my hand and gently caress his head. Paul's neck shrunk as my fingers rubbed through his brown, dyed hair. At least he didn't slap my hand away. Go take a shower and sleep. You haven't slept for a couple of nights, right? Okay. Doll hurried and got out of the bed. I was thinking that Doll would go to Aunt Pang and tell her that I had harassed him, but he just grabbed the towel in front of the bathroom, opened the wardrobe, grabbed his pajamas, and walked to the bathroom. I lay down on the bed, looking at the ceiling of the room. In my heart, there was a strange feeling of happiness. The frustration disappeared as soon as I told him the truth, and his attitude that is not disgusting made me feel like I still have some hope. I closed my eyes to rest, listening to the sound of water hitting the floor coming from the bathroom. When Tall came out of the bathroom, he must smell so nice. I really want to pat his head again. Tall's expression when he was patted on the head was so cute. My hand might come down to his cheeks, his nape, and stroke under his shirt, touching his soft skin beneath it. It would be a wonderful feeling. I flinched and woke up. I understood my danger. The fact that I was in the room really made Doll feel unsafe. I hurriedly got up from his bed, threw both the pillows and blankets that Aunt Pat provided on the ground, and quickly laid down to cover myself. Does the fact that I have had no girlfriend for a long time make me desire this much? I tried not to think about Doll again and closed my eyes to calm myself. I know what I'm going to do. No need to take a shower. I'll just pretend to fall asleep. That night, while sleeping on the floor of Doll's room, I dreamed of my ex. Mild's pretty face appeared in my dream. While I was sleeping in bed, one of my hands held the phone to my ear. I was discussing an important business with my senior doctor. Mild, who smelled so good as she came out from taking a shower, lay down beside me. She picked up her phone to play and waited for me to finish the business. After 5 minutes, she was still waiting patiently. Then 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and half an hour. I still haven't hung up. Unaware of her mood, Mild turned and pulled my phone out of my ear and hung up. Mild! I turned around and spoke to mine loudly. What are you doing? I didn't drive a long distance to listen to you talking with someone, said Mild angrily. I was talking about something important. Very important. How important can it be? Can you just wait and talk tomorrow? Well, I hesitated a little. I knew my answer would piss her off, but I still decided to speak because of my anger. Well, he's calling now. How can I refuse? He needs help, so I have to help him. You're acting like a hero again. Mild raised her hand and pushed my chest and raised her voice. You're like this again! And why do you have to be so angry? Can't you just wait? I saw tears coming from her beautiful eyes. Every time, you only tell me to wait. I'm tired of waiting. You only see that I'm less important than others. Can you stop acting like you're a public figure and start acting like my boyfriend? That night, Mild and I had a fight, and then she broke up with me. I woke up with a tired feeling in my back and coccyx, and it was because I slept on the hard ground instead of laying down next to Tal. I sat up and opened my eyes to the morning sunlight. Tal isn't in the room anymore. I glanced and saw a towel and a white t-shirt folded at my feet with a disposable toothbrush. I reached out to pick it up and smiled widely. I can just wear the same old shirt again as I'll go back to take a shower and change clothes before my afternoon shift. But because Tal gave me the shirt, I should have received his kindness. Speaking of which, there were only 2 days left before Tal died. Tomorrow is the day he asks Mai to be his girlfriend. After taking a shower and dressing up, I walked downstairs. The scent of vanilla butter wafted to my nose. I followed the scent until I found a stack of delicious looking pancakes on the table. Tal was sitting at the table in his student uniform. He was chewing on a puffy pancake. I was going to say hi, but Uncle Oat's voice came up loudly. Dr. Tin, how are you doing? Uncle Oat opened his arms and walked to hug me tightly. I hugged Tall's dad and hurriedly pulled away, raising my hands to why. Hello, Uncle Oat. You can eat pancakes, Dr. Tin. Mom made lots of them. I don't know if we will be able to eat it all. Uncle Oat led me to the chair next to Tall. Come and take a seat. I will go make coffee. Do you want some? I'll go help. Just let me sit together with Tall. I'm shy. No need. I'm the only person who can use this coffee machine, laughed Uncle Oat. The machine costs hundreds of thousands. It's the one used by the famous coffee shop. I guarantee the taste. Just go eat pancakes with Doll. I will go bring you some coffee. Yes. I sat down next to Doll considerately. Doll raised his head and called his dad, who was walking toward the kitchen. Dad! His coffee took a double shot. Got it. Uncle Oat replied and disappeared into the kitchen. I turned to look at Doll. My heart keeps beating faster. Doll remembers what kind of coffee I drink, although I have never ordered coffee in this loop. Doll picked up his phone and continued eating without looking at me. Nong tol, I called him softly. Good morning. Yeah, he answered me in short, then reached out and slid the pancake plate in the middle of the table closer to me. Tall looks like a person who doesn't care about anything, but he's a nice person who takes care of others. By looking at how he went to help Art, who was choking on candy without hesitation, how he was chasing after his girlfriend's ex despite that he had heart disease, and how he took me to sleep at his house because he was worried that I wouldn't be able to drive home. Thank you for the shirt, I said. I will do proper laundry before returning. You don't have to. Just take it, Tal said without looking at me. It's the old shirt of a retired servant. I rummaged from the storage room. I was stunned and screamed in my heart. Ouch. This again. Fooling me to be happy, then breaking the mood. I'm going to cry. After having a full breakfast and coffee, I bid farewell to Tall's parents and walked out to the front of the house, having Tall walk out with me. I'm sure he really walked out to send me because my car wasn't parked in front of the house gate. Tall walked with me to the car as if to make sure that I could drive back by myself. Thank you for letting me rest the night. I talked to Tall. Are you sure you're resting? I saw you sleeping on the floor. Tall frowned. I told you to sleep in the bed. I will go to sleep on the sofa downstairs. It's okay. I'm a person who can sleep easily. A doctor can sleep any place. I opened the car door. Today, after school, are you going anywhere? Well, I'm thinking of going to buy flowers. Paul turned to look at the road. I'm going to ask Mai to be my girlfriend. What Paul just said made me freeze like I was frozen. It was a day faster than usual as expected. The fact that Mai was beaten by her ex made Paul decide to ask her to be his girlfriend faster. Well, why? Mai needs someone to take care of her. You saw it, right? Paul answered in a harsh tone. I can't let Mai get hit by her ex like this. No, I can't let Tol and Mai become a couple. Tol, if you want to ask Mai to be your girlfriend because of this, then it's better not to. You might be used to being in a superficial relationship, but I think you should be in a relationship with someone you love and give Mai a chance to meet someone who really loves her. Isn't that better? My words made him stunned. About Mai's ex, we will find a solution together, okay? Don't do it by yourself. The outcome of what you decided to help Mai is just like what you saw in your dreams. Paul pursed his lips as if he was trying to calm his temper. He looks hesitant. Actually, you don't have to help. I'll just avoid running or exerting. Can you remember what happened before Tall had an accident? I closed the car door and turned to Tall to finish the conversation. Once I was in that area, I heard the scream. Then the kids around the area said that you met with Mai's ex. Do you remember what happened? Can you tell me? It it's hard. Paul closed his eyes and frowned. So the incident was not that obvious. Everything seems to come in a separate part in my dream. I remember running because I saw Mai being dragged into a car. Then Paul opened his eyes and shook his head. Sometimes I see you running to stop him. Sometimes I can't see it. It is said that dreams are difficult to remember. I understand Tall very well because my perception and Tall's perception aren't the same. Tall learns the story from a dream that overlaps many loops. For me, I remember it as a past event in my real life. Someone dragged Mai into a car? Can you remember the face? It was too dark, probably at night. Paul looked like he had figured something out. But before that, a guy called me saying that he wanted to talk at the back of the faculty building, claiming to be Mai's ex-boyfriend. When Tall said what Tall said made me feel goosebumps. Tall never survived to tell me these details. What did he want to talk about? He wants me to break up with Mai. Suddenly, Tall raised his hand and pointed at me. Did you say that someone in that area said I met Mai's ex? Yes, that means there are people who know who Mai's ex-boyfriend is. Do you remember the face of the one who said that? Paul's eyes glowed with excitement. It was a girl. I tried to close my eyes to think about that. It was just the last loop that this happened. She has a simple look. I don't know how to describe her as a specific person. Let's just say if I saw her again, I will be able to remember. This is the person who will tell us who my ex-boyfriend is. Dahl looked at me with his eyes that seemed to be asking, although his expression didn't change much. If you are free, could you help me find this person? She might be someone in my faculty. Sure, I'll try. I raised my watch to look at the time. My shift starts at 4 o'clock. I will have to go back and take a shower and feed the cats at the condo. Then I will try to find that girl for you. But I looked up at Doll from my watch. If you and I help Mai deal with her ex, you won't ask Mai to be your girlfriend, right? Well, probably not. I smiled widely. Then that means you can be my boyfriend. Doll looked at me in amazement before grabbing the car door and opened it. Go back. I burst into laughter and got into the car. I will see you at the faculty. Thal looked at me from the corner of his eyes and rushed into the house. I closed the door, looking at myself, smiling widely in the mirror. It's worth it to decide to come back this far. My checklist reaches number 5. A number says that my ex was the cause. If I can pass number 5, then I will come to number 6, which is the one that I want to achieve the most. When I came back to the condo, I fed a cat that felt hurt because I disappeared a lot during this period. I then went to open the wardrobe to change pants and find a shirt that is less uncomfortable to wear than the shirt of Doll's servant. I took off my white t-shirt and was about to throw it on the bed, but I noticed something that I didn't notice when I was wearing it. This shirt still has a brand embroidered patch on the back of the collar. It's an expensive brand name shirt. The servant in the house must be rich. I hugged the shirt and let out a soft growl. What a cute person. Said that it's a servant's shirt so that I don't have to feel uneasy like this. Don't let me see you fool me like this again, or else I will go tell your mother in no time. End of loop 10. Taking care.